with you.
I was like, dude, fucking yet another fucking thing. It never fucking fails, dude. Every time. Every fucking time we do anything, it's always a problem.
We should start the episode like that.
I've been recording, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad you told me.
It's every fucking time. There's no need to even tell you anymore, dude.
Why?
Like, hey, because we know what we're going to do as soon as we start talking. Just as soon as we know, we're like, all right, dude, everything's working together right at this moment. I'm just going to press record from now on.
Just do it?
Yeah, I have no choice.
You're recording on both, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Well, we have a few announcements to make. A lot of good shit going on. One, today is 1 year when we announced... We're announcing an announcement. We announced the Morning After Pill show was going to come out 1 year ago.
1 year ago today was the decision that we made to talk and record.
Start, yeah. And then it was only like a
Isn't
couple
that amazing,
weeks later.
though? If you think about it, like, we just sat down one day and we're like, hey, you know what? We should record ourselves talking, and we did.
We think people might like it, and still, some of you do.
Some of you.
Some of you do, and we appreciate the 15 of y'all, which that number grew from 5, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, so in a year, I mean, we're 10 people.
We'll be at 30 by 2025.
At least.
At least.
Can't wait to get that payday.
Let's put this pipe away for a second. Anyways.
I like getting high before the podcast because I can feel myself getting higher as we go.
I like the progression.
Yeah, right? It's just
pretty cool.
It's kind of refreshing.
It's so cool.
It is so nice.
Next announcement.
Oh, save the best for last. So
It depends on what you think the best one is.
well, we all know what the best one is.
We all know what the best one is.
But
cool.
Out number 2, we have a sale.
We do have a sale going on, of
On
course.
merch.
This does not mean that you cannot use the promo code at the end of the episode, by the way, that's in the description that we
You
keep
can
talking
use both?
about. You can use both, fuckers.
Fuck me.
We have a few items that are on... Yeah, I know. We have a few items that are on sale at themorningafterpillshow.com. A few featured items and new items coming out soon. We got a dope-ass hat that I'm pretty excited about.
I do like that hat.
That hat is going to be so dope. It's a flex fit hat, kind of like what you see me wearing now, except it has something pertaining to us on
I
our
was
social
going to
media.
say my hat too, but I don't buy Flex Fit.
Dude, I love flex fit hats.
I'm bougie.
They're super comfortable.
I'm bougie.
They're comfortable. Give a fuck about bougie. They're comfortable.
Not if your head's too big for the size you chose.
You're
It's
really
just mad uncomfortable.
You're a bad salesman. Anyways,
I am not a bad salesman. Literally, like 90% of my history of jobs all has to do with sales.
Right? But
All
you're
of
not
it.
doing it for your own.
I guess.
Moving forward, the sale's going on.
Onward
Promo
and
code is in
upward.
the description. You can still use that promo code. That's not going away anytime soon. So that's just us saying thank you for listening. Another one. We are working with somebody on intro music.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get something back from him soon. So you're gonna
Just barely at a camera view.
who, me or you?
Me.
Oh, okay. That's funny.
See what I'm doing.
Yeah, we can tell what you're doing.
I mean, no one else knows, but if they know me, then you know.
It's just all you do.
I
Chris is
mean,
beating off. Yes, so
A
intro
lot.
music coming out soon. And the best information, the best announcement that we have
this
for
camera
you.
way wider than the last one.
Are you high already?
I mean, I'm always kind of high.
Great. Chris, why don't you go ahead and tell us this announcement?
Is it the best one?
It's the best one.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're paying attention.
Clearly. I was occupied. We have started a streaming service, so now not only do you get to hear us talking about video games, but you can actually watch us play them, and you can see just how terrible we are at a lot of them.
Average gaming, same conversation, just while we're playing.
Yeah, we get to talk shit about other people's mistakes.
Yeah, pretty much.
In games, not in life.
In games, not just in life.
Not just.
So just stay tuned for that. So Maps Gaming coming out. Also, that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, I think that's it.
The Map Studios. we
Map
got-
Studios presents all of it.
presents all
realistically.
of that. And there's a Map Studios. So, boom.
Booyakasha.
Ooh, yeah.
I gotta stop watching Ninja Turtles with Addison, bro.
That, yeah. Yeah.
You know he only says Cowabunga once in that newer version?
I'm sorry.
And he stole it from someone else. Michelangelo. There was another character. We're getting sidetracked as fuck. But anyway, the new Ninja Turtles, the ones that were on Nickelodeon with the
one that
blocky
your daughter
style and
makes you
shit.
watch
that-
every weekend.
Every weekend, all 5 seasons. Michelangelo says Booyakasha. which we all know his famous catchphrase was what?
Cowabunga.
Yes. Well, in this version of it, he ends up asking another character who uses it if he can use it every once in a while, and the other character asks him if he can use Booyakasha. Mind blown, right?
Not really.
How do you change the saying, though?
Cowabunga was cool in the 90s, bro.
It's still fucking... Dude, come on, really? Have you seen what people wear and the way they're acting? It's the 90s again.
None of it's cool.
It's the 90s again.
Yeah, but none of it's cool.
Instead of bringing back, like... I don't know, like, dressing with, like, a hat and, like, suits and everything, we're back to wearing skinny jeans, not knowing how to color coordinate, and acting like a douchebag.
Yeah, pastel colors.
Yeah, how do we skip the roaring 20s? The 20s were the shit.
Yeah.
Like, let's go back to the 20s and 30s. Like, everyone had a suit and tie and, like, a Tommy gun.
They were like, here's some cocaine and cigarettes. I know you're not feeling well today.
For real, for real. Here, drink this gallon of vodka, snort this pound of cocaine, and call me in the morning if you survive.
And you wear a suit everywhere.
Everywhere.
Even dinner. At dinner.
Yeah.
At dinner, you're wearing a suit.
Yeah.
Kids are dressed up. They have their hair done. Clean up, wash up for dinner.
Yeah, why
There's
can't
no
we go back
family
to
dinner.
that? Why can't we go back to that?
I haven't been to anyone's house that has a family dinner table in quite a while.
My parents do, but we still don't use it. I mean, my fucking brother has one. He doesn't.
It's an
use
extra
it.
storage place. And
Really,
we play
it just
Dungeons and Dragons.
Just
on your
becomes
table.
like a just. Here's some shit, and just
It's a
on
coat
the
rack.
counter.
It's a very long extended coat rack. Sometimes it's a buffet table. Thanksgiving, it's still
That's
used.
about the only time it's useful.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
But even then, sometimes I just kind of like, we're gonna go to the
I know
other
I'm
table.
not hosting anything, so I don't need a fucking dinner table.
Exactly.
I mean, I might get like one of those like 2-person bar tables or something like that to put in the
That's
corner.
dope.
That'd be dope, right? Yeah.
I'm just gonna start eating in my closet so that way nobody can tell that I'm crying while I eat.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
The walls are thin, bro.
Yeah. Well,
That's why I do it in the shower.
very lonely.
The water,
that way the,
water,
tears just
yeah,
runs
the
off.
water drains the noise and shit.
I
Have my
like
music
that.
going.
I like that.
Then I bawl.
Man, lonely times for good old Victor here. Anyways,
Is it though?
sometimes.
Really?
Sometimes.
Why? Because what do you want? A companion?
I don't know.
Want someone to lay with?
No,
I have
maybe.
a dog.
Maybe. That's pretty much it.
Yeah,
the
just
dog.
use the dog, dude.
We
We
have
got
a
the
dog.
dog back. You're good.
And Chewy is just great, by the way.
He has a good dog, right? I told
Great
you,
dog.
dude. He's no worries.
Love it. Yes, all exciting things going on right now in the world of Map Studios. By the way, again,
I like the sound of that.
Map Studios. So that's pretty much
That was it.
That's it.
That's the
all we
whole
got. That's
gist
all,
of it.
That's the entire jizz of it.
The whole load.
Dude, you beat me right to it.
So now that we've gotten away from all the good things that we probably drowned out by talking about a bunch of other nonsense, sum it up. New gear,
Sales,
merch.
new gears. We got stuff on sale.
stuff on sale.
Yes.
Maps Gaming, Map Studios.
Yep.
I told you about it earlier. Can we talk about how the NFL has its first COVID outbreak?
Yes. Yes, we can.
All right. Now think about the teams that it is. It's Minnesota and Tennessee.
Right.
Both teams, I don't even feel like really matter sometimes. Is that horrible for me to say? I feel pretty bad about it. But I mean, those aren't teams that like granted the Vikings have like made the
Vikings used
playoffs
to-
and
they
stuff.
have their
Like
moments.
they've looked good. Tennessee, I mean, even those are both teams that were in the championships last year.
Of course.
But I still think that like even with the COVID, like no one cares.
No.
Like and if they're
First of all,
already
if
sick,
I have to find out through you, it's not really like
it's not really
it's not
news.
really the biggest news because
No.
the stuff you care about, not a lot of people care about.
This is very true.
You know what I mean? So if I'm finding out through you, I was like,
Dude, it's
I didn't
sports.
drop my jaw. You know what I mean? I
Well,
was
it's like sports time right now, so like I'm gonna have that in my head 90%
oh, that's
of
fine.
the time.
That's fine.
Redskins
I have
still
renounced
suck.
myself from giving a fuck about sports.
No,
pretty public
I
about
wasn't gonna pay attention to sports because I thought it was gonna be real bad, and I thought a lot more players were gonna opt out of like playing this season because of COVID, which they might still after this fucking outbreak. So I wasn't really planning out, but I find myself still watching it because
You can't help yourself.
I can't.
You can't help
I love sports. I shouldn't say sports. I love football.
So my thing is that I've said it plenty of times, but just to throw it out there. I stopped giving a shit. In all reality, probably like a good 2 years ago,
At least.
at least, right?
Yeah.
what happened is that I felt that I had to force myself to care. Like, oh, I gotta watch the game. And then like when I'm watching, I don't care. I'm on my phone, or I'm trying to I'm thinking about something else.
Really?
If that's what's going on while I'm watching a game, I don't fucking care.
True.
So I'm
See,
not gonna put myself into it like that.
I'll still fuck around on my phone like during commercials or like if it's a slow drive or something. But like I'm still fucking like very.
Because even with the past couple of years, no UFC fights, I still try to watch.
See, I haven't watched UFC fights in fucking years, dude. Years.
Yeah.
To me, the best fighting was when they didn't have classes and everybody was
like you had said before, like just bring back the old school
kickboxer versus like
sumo wrestler
versus dude. That was like one of the best matches I've ever seen too.
Ultimate Fighting Championship, the yellow boxes that you'd get at Blockbuster,
like the cool shit.
Yeah, dude, for sure.
I mean, everyone just wrestles and grapples and fucking. I mean,
which is still
you got people leaving the UFC to do other shit because even they're bored with it.
Okay, like you got Norman Gormedov.
Is he an Uber driver now?
He is an Uber driver. He's also an Uber driver, and I'm sure some family members are. He's a Russian pro. Like he's a phenomenal wrestler when it comes to his art in the ring. And what some people that don't watch a lot of mixed martial arts don't get, like, oh, it looks like you're just laying down on the guy, and they're just like humping.
Well, no, I get it.
You're not dry humping. For me, it's like, okay, you're tiring the guy out. So once you get out of that entire situation, you're not going to want to go to fight.
I get all that. Because they even did that back in the day. I get all that.
Yeah.
You get them on the ground. You got to get like.
You wear out. You
got to get. Yeah, you got to wear them out, and then you get that one like hold that just like ends the match. I get it. But like everybody's doing it. Like back in the day,
I agree with that.
Back in the day, like watching Hoist Gracie like trying to fucking fight, some other kind of like what is it, like a kung fu fighter or fucking whatever. Like those fighters won't typically like to go to the ground, so it was like even more of a challenge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like now it's like every UFC fight starts the same. They come out, they swing it first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
After like 30 to 45 seconds of swinging and like missing or whatever, if you don't connect on the swings, it usually goes to the ground right away.
Right.
Like you're just one person finally gets the other one to the ground. That's usually how every UFC fucking goes nowadays.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was like, like dude like standing there like bouncing, getting ready to kick somebody, and the next thing you know, like dude's on the ground like trying to like, what is that, drunken monkey bullshit? Like just doing weird shit like that, which made it way more interesting.
I do like the idea of it, Kumite style.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
like the
Kumite,
Kumite, pretty much.
Yeah.
Except regulations. Like it's not okay to die in the middle of the ring. Like
I mean, but is it though?
It's a disqualification if you kill someone.
Is it though?
Yeah, and then nobody.
In the Kumite, then that motherfucker should have died. And the dude should have been disqualified in fucking.
No, I'm not talking. In the Kumite, you can kill people.
I know. Yeah, that's true.
But not in the UFC.
It's still frowned upon.
Yeah.
Like even people.
Yeah.
Even Jean-Claude Van Damme was like, no.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what he sounds like.
Frank Dukes. Sorry. Sorry.
That's a crazy story too, though.
That's fucking weird, dude.
It's a crazy story.
Yes, it is.
Right?
Because it's never like it, and I always forget that it's like based on real
story.
Shit. Like I know, I always forget though. Like watching it, like God, this movie's terrible. But the fighting is cool and shit. Yeah. And then at the very end, they're like, oh, it's all based. They like go through the whole scroll
real,
thing. You're like, and then your jaw just kind of like
every time,
like fucking right.
Every time.
That dude's like a real person.
Check out Bloodsport, young crowd.
Dude, I feel like everyone's seen it.
No, not the younger crowd. We do have younger listeners.
Whatever, dude. Jean-Claude Van Damme dancing is a fucking meme or a GIF.
That's true.
So everyone's got to see. If you know the GIF, you know the movie.
Yeah.
Like you just have to.
Have you? Okay, no, that's from Kickboxer though.
Is it?
Yeah, that's where he gets.
There's still a scene.
There's a scene where he gets in the movie where his trainer gets him drunk to help him get some balance. So he makes him fight while he's drunk, and then makes him ride a bicycle on the way back home. With him in the back.
I remember now.
Is fucking Pat.
Isn't it? It's kind of hard to like go back and think about Jean-Claude Van Damme movies because they all just kind of seem like
they're all the same. Fucking.
They all seem like just one really.
The only one that stands out differently is Street Fighter, and that movie was horrible.
Yeah, it was cool as a kid because like you're like, this is as good as it's gonna get. How come they haven't made a new fucking Street Fighter? Because they can totally do that shit right now.
I think it's
CGI and shit like they do in the green screens.
I think they just got it covered with anime.
You think so?
Yeah, because they just do all the anime movies now. I think maybe it's a rights thing.
There's just certain like movies that you just don't make based off of video games.
Okay, so like Street Fighter, you know how it's only coming out on PlayStation?
Is it?
Yeah, it's PlayStation exclusive. You can't get it on anything else.
Really?
Yeah. So you know what that means? That Sony owns those rights.
Well, I'm gonna have that. Yeah, and Sony makes terrible movies.
And Sony makes terrible decisions, like Spider-Man not letting fucking the world have them.
Yeah, they should have just made that deal and just let fucking Spider-Man go to Marvel.
Yeah. Like issue free. Like he's there.
Yeah.
He's there now.
Like, when are they just gonna come to an agreement? Like, all right, dude, you guys got Venom and shit, and we have Spider-Man. Like, you guys have Venom
Fucking
and
Venom's
Spider-Man.
dope, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys have that, but we have all these other characters, and I think we can make a dope movie together. So let's do that. But like, they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, can't like Disney buy fucking Sony by now? Can't they? They literally buy everything else. Can it just be Disney? Can everything just be Disney?
No, I don't want that.
Why?
I don't want that.
I mean, who cares? Everything's already Disney. Why can't it just be all Disney?
I am.
When it comes to movies, fuck it. Let Disney do all of it. Because they're going to make a fantastic movie.
If you spread them out too thin, their movies are going to start becoming shitty again. When things start getting mass produced,
I doubt that.
they
We
get
watched
really
23 fucking Marvel movies over the last 10 years. Do you
right?
think
I mean, but just
they
think
were
if they
at
owned
one point.
everything.
At
else.
one point, they released 4 movies in 1 year.
Yeah.
Like, were any of those bad?
No, none of them were bad. This is not my point. I think if you spread it out too much, you get too much, it's going to start being shitty. That's why they pick the greatest. They pick Star Wars. They pick fucking Marvel. They pick fucking, you know what I mean?
I don't know if they picked the greatest per se, because they did their hardest to kill Star Wars.
No, one person did.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
That's fucking Kathleen Kennedy just fucking trashing and putting all her juices all over it.
Yeah.
And all her fucking
I'm gonna
activist
do this.
agenda.
Let's do this to fuck something up. Let's do this to fuck. All right, and now do that, because hopefully that'll fuck it up.
I was just thinking right now, I sound so against activists on this podcast. In reality, I don't hate them. I just want them
There's certain
do what they
activists.
actually do what they say.
Like the activists that
follow.
live in a fucking tree for a month so you don't cut it down. Like those ones I don't mind. Like
Yeah,
that's
they're
fine.
great. They're
Like,
great.
cool.
They're
Yeah.
actually doing something.
You're not bothering me personally. Like you're saving a tree. I'm all for it. But like this activism where they stand out in front and hold angry signs and then yell at people that are walking by is fucking horseshit.
I don't know if you've been noticing. Our friend of the podcast, he was just on the show. Clifton Simmons is out cleaning up Marbach.
I'm saying that. I don't know if that's.
It's not necessarily activism, but that's doing something because you
Being
care
proactive, for sure.
Being proactive, you actually care. And he's getting the community involved. They did a little like Marbocumentary thing.
I seen that.
And like it's being followed by the city. You know what I mean? Like people care. Now, did I think anything was wrong with Marbach? Maybe the traffic.
Really?
Yeah, that's probably about it. But like,
I feel like anybody can clean up anywhere in the world. Like,
yeah, but I mean, the fact that you just go, hey, you know what? We care about Marbach. It has a history. There's a community there. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't.
Well, that's
don't
what,
necessarily
that's
leave
when
the
a community
general area.
comes together.
Yeah.
If you're
Those are the types of things that I'm talking
if you're
about. we should be
bitching
doing.
about your city, but you're not doing
shit.
anything to fucking make it better,
Yeah.
then you have no fucking right to say anything else.
Yeah, you're no more different than a Yelp reviewer.
Oh god. I fucking hate Yelp, dude.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
I really fucking hate Yelp.
You ever just read through them?
No.
No?
Actually, I have. Yeah. Of course I have.
Yeah.
It's Yelp, dude.
It's Yelp.
Who doesn't want to read?
It's kind of funny.
Some of them are really good, but you can tell most of them are like.
It's just pity, like it's just anger. It's just,
Yeah, it's not. So I think Yelp started off as like actual people that were like, "Hey, this restaurant has a nice experience. The food was pretty decent." And then it turned into someone who complained about it and got a bunch of free shit, and like that dude told everybody. So that everyone was like, "Well, if I go there and I just make it a bad experience for myself by just instead of just enjoying when you go there, you walk in and start nitpicking.
Yeah.
You just want free shit."
That's all people want. People love free shit. You love free shit?
No, not really.
No?
No, it has to be a certain type of free shit.
Well, if somebody was going around giving hand jobs.
see, that's one of those questionable.
Okay, I didn't give that
one of
much
those
detail, so I understand.
Yeah, see, like
You knew
I
that
have to.
I was hoping you were just gonna say yes, and then I was gonna go with these follow-up questions. But yeah, but like,
no.
what if it was like a homeless man with blisters on his hands?
Well, definitely no.
Okay,
I mean, we both have to wear a glove
okay. Why are you wearing a glove?
on my penis.
And it's a mechanic's glove,
Yeah,
actually.
it's a penis glove.
Yeah,
Just cut off the middle finger.
just get one of those leather work gloves.
That's what I'm saying. Just cut the little finger off.
No,
The
just
pinky
leave it on
finger?
there. That way, it just looks like he's high-fiving you a lot.
True. Yeah. What are you guys doing back there? Just practicing high fives, officer.
Officer. Because the cop will always show up.
Always.
Always.
Yeah. No one can just have sex in public and not have a cop show
Yeah.
up. So weird.
And people complain, dude.
So
I'm telling you, people
weird.
just don't.
That's really not something you should complain about. You should stop and just enjoy it. You ever, like, stop and smell the roses? Stop and watch some fucking.
Stop and eat the pussy.
I don't know about that. I mean, I would stop, like, all right, if it's like, what if, like, cops, like, didn't bust the hot ones and only busted, like, the fugly ones? And like
That's
the
fucked
fat
up.
ones? Right?
I think it's fucked up.
That would be fucked up,
It's
right?
fucked up.
Yeah.
It's,
But at least
it's
if you're
that
good
saying-
looking, you
it's
know
like
that you could
saying
bang
that was
anyway.
going around for a little while. Being nice to attractive women is not you being nice to women or not being accepting of any women. Like, if you're only nice to the women you find attractive, then you're a fucking, like, misogynist
First
fucking
of all,
pig.
if you're being mean to somebody just because they're ugly,
You're
like,
fucked up. You are fucked up for that.
you are, because, like, everyone's definition is different.
Yeah. for
Like,
me.
if I'm not attracted to you, then, like, maybe, like, I'll, like, try to tell you a joke to see your sense of humor.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be like, hey, and, like, flirt. I'm not going to flirt like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. First of all, I don't think it's wrong. Okay, it's like a double-edged sword. What I'm about to say is make me sound fucked up, but people know I don't mean this. So like,
Some
you're
people.
constantly, some people, you're constantly thinking about sex because that's all you want to do is reproduce, right? It's nature, it's biology. You
It's
want
different.
Not
and that's
always.
Not, but
it's
that's
not always.
that's not reproducing, though.
I know, but that's kind of that's the agenda that's in our mind. We're like cells that want to keep growing. So that's how we do it.
No, I
That's
think
why there's a desire for it in
because
general.
because we have the train of thought that we do.
Yeah.
Like, we enjoy sex. Like, you find enjoyment in it, so that's what makes it happen.
Right.
Like, animals, they only have sex because all they're thinking about is reproducing.
No,
Yes.
because dogs without nuts, don't they still fuck?
Yeah, but that's still like that.
They still have it in their
Yeah.
I think humans have it too. It's like this leftover ape shit, dude.
Because no one's ever, like, banging and being like, I'm gonna cream pie as many chicks as I possibly can. Well,
We're getting away from it, but it's still
probably
there.
Somebody probably is. But
First of all, how are we getting away with cream pies?
I don't know.
Birth control. It has to be it, right?
I don't know. Like, who? There's a lot of things that go on in porn.
If you can get
There's just a
if you
lot
can
of
get
things that
somebody
go on.
pregnant with like the slight like a hand job, and then she just kind of like touches herself a little bit, and they're like, "Oh God, I got pregnant." How are fucking people just getting away with cream pieing?
Well, all right. So there's there's a lot of things in the porn world that I just don't fucking understand. Or there's things that happen in porn that I'm like, I really want to have a talk with that person, so I can figure out at what point were you like, dude, this totally seems like it's gonna be a great idea.
Yeah.
Like, this is gonna be a great idea.
No, I don't know, man.
Like, I'm gonna come inside of her, but I'm gonna do it with just the tip in there, and then I'm gonna tell her to push it out. Like, somebody actually thought that, and they were like, "Yo, that's fucking a turn on."
I mean, it's not a turn off for me. It's not a turn off for me, but it's not like, it's not going to be on my list of like.
Like, who was the first person to love? Who was the first person that liked to get shit on? Like, at
Germans.
what point? At what point? Probably, but at what point? Like, were you you like changing a diaper of like a grown man or something, or like, and like you got some on your finger and you were like, "Hey, I just got wet." Like, it just doesn't make fucking sense to me. I don't understand. I want to know why. Why is that so intriguing to you? Or why do you find that so sexy? Like, did
For a
someone
while
just...
there, people were hurting themselves.
Yeah.
So guys were cutting off their dicks.
Who jumps in front of a fucking dude pissing and they're like, yeah, this is fucking awesome, yeah! Like, who does that? Nobody. You'd have to get paid to do that shit.
Oh, for sure. That's the conversation I think about having. Like, You know, you got some guy.
How much does it take?
Not really.
Oh.
It's just kind of like, hey, you want to work today, right? Well, yeah, it's my job. Well, here you go.
Yeah. Stand
Go to
over
this
there with
office.
this cup underneath your chin and wait for someone to piss on you.
Yeah.
Like,
Bring 3 changes of clothes.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a rough industry, dude. It's a rough industry. One, like,
I like the ones when like they're stepping on the chick's face and has them like bent like a pretzel, but they're like stepping on like who?
it's the other way around too. There's guys that like it.
Yeah.
There's guys that like being fucking like stepped on and tortured and shit like that and being demasculated. I'm like, how the fuck?
I just want to meet the person that first did it and made it a thing. Because you would think that getting pissed on or like playing with shit or whatever, like those are like things that like you really wouldn't discuss with a lot of people.
Choking gets out there quite a bit.
Yeah, but choking, I mean, then again, that is something, yeah. At
Because
one point
it used to be considered domestic abuse. Now it's like foreplay.
Yeah, for real.
I'm just saying. Like, what are we mad about anymore?
I have so many questions.
So many questions. So many questions.
I can't
now,
even like think of like things that like I would like.
Okay, so right now this is an opportunity to ask the audience, if you're at this point, like throw in some comments. Like, what do you think? What do you think is the craziest one? Where do you think it came from? Why do you like being choked? Because I'm not even questioning it. You liked being choked.
Most people
right
do.
now at this point, the split between the male-female listeners has gone from 50-50 to 60-40. So it's 40% women.
You think so?
It's for a fact now. Or at least according to the numbers.
The numbers.
But that means we still have enough people listening, giving us the opportunity to let us know, why do you like being choked? How did it become good? And now I understand there's like the David Carradine
Okay,
thing.
when was the first time you got choked and you were like, hey?
Well, you had people choking themselves.
what
Remember,
was
like
going
hanging themselves?
Yeah, I mean, David Carradine.
David Carradine, yeah. Like,
What a way to go out, dude. You're like a karate art, right?
he was a martial artist.
Yeah.
He was like a...
Yeah.
He was an actor too, though. You know what I mean?
Do you think he choked himself with like one of his black belts?
No.
You know,
They're not
was it
strong.
just like a regular?
No.
They're not that strong.
They're not strong.
You bring them into battle. How are they not that strong?
They're not strong enough to hold you while you're doing
I
that.
strongly doubt that.
No, they're not, and they're not long enough for that.
Maybe David Carradine had a small neck. He wasn't the biggest guy.
No, he wasn't. But if I wanted to choke myself, I would go with like velvet rope, something that felt nice. You know what
That's
I
what
mean?
I'm saying. Those belts don't feel good. I know
Not-
they're sturdy and
they're-
shit. They have to be sturdy
they're
because when
too
you tie
thick.
it, they like stay in that little like bow formation after you
They're
tie
too
it.
thick. They come out. They because for one, you had to like do the little shit a certain way in order to get it that way. So if you were trying to do that same knot while trying to, hang
I feel
yourself,
like there's somebody.
you're
I feel like there's a
sacrificing a
martial
lot.
artist out there that uses his fucking martial arts belt
I wouldn't
to choke himself.
I wouldn't. I'm not an expert, so don't go off of what I say, but I wouldn't. I would definitely just use like a like a Dickies belt. You know what I mean? Like a leather Wrangler
Like a
belt
heavy,
from Walmart.
like industrial,
Yeah,
like a
and
work
with
belt.
a buckle on it. You know what I mean? Like if I'm going to use a belt for any kind of weapon. Or,
What about a tool belt?
No,
How crazy would that be?
I mean, I don't know.
Those
If it
are
had
thick,
a
right?
if it had a knife in it,
If you
then
take everything off of it, then it's just a really thick fucking belt.
it would be like a nice challenge. Like
Has anybody tried barbed wire?
yes, I'm sure of it. People hung themselves on hooks for a little while. Remember, to get off.
I don't remember that.
There was a good like time where the only way you could actually watch a titty was HBO.
Okay.
And there was like a couple of those like exhibits that they would do where people would like hook themselves and they would hang.
Oh,
themselves.
like with their skin and shit like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean that's still a thing.
It's still a thing, yes, but it's not as like out there as much.
Were they doing that to get off though, or were they just doing that because?
It was going on at those
just-
like
they just
fucking
think it's
like
great.
sex events.
Was it?
Yeah,
You sure?
absolutely.
It was on HBO.
Which is known for bleeding and cum.
I never fucked with HBO though. Wait, HBO had Taxi Cab Confessions, right?
I think so. It was that or Showtime, one of the two. But
Well, don't forget there was Skinamax.
there was Skinamax.
There was Red Shoe Diaries was on.
That was Showtime.
Yes, David Duchovny. He found the XXX files.
And then Californications.
That was on
That was also on Showtime.
Showtime. Yeah.
Yeah. I did like that one. That one I've watched 3
Real
times.
Sex. That's what the HBO.
That's the one I was
called.
talking about.
Yeah, Real Sex.
That's the show I was for
There's-
sure.
And then what the fuck was on Cinemax?
I think they just had like the softcore porn
Like the corny ones and shit.
where there was like no penetration. It was all just dry humping and music.
Those are the worst.
The stories though, I like me. My
They were
stories.
pretty intriguing.
I like my stories.
There's still times where like I look for story porn.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I go to this on the search thing. I go to like the 30-minute plus just because I want to know how like the conversation's going. Like,
You can type in like stories and shit like that, and you don't even get them half the time.
No.
Yeah. You know who has a shit? You know what? The 70s, like the late 70s.
oh, they
early
had put out
80s,
full movies.
Those pornos were like some of the most like actual like story. The acting was terrible. Everything was pretty much bad about it. The bush, the fucking long curly hair for men, like the perms and shit. Like that was pretty terrible. However, son of a bitch's new storyline.
Yeah,
They at least tried.
yeah. Then they did more parodies too.
It's not easy to write a scene about like hanging out with your friends and it turning into a group orgy. That's not that easy to write.
Yeah.
And make it seem like
Also-
plausible or like
The